Ma'am, this deck is for suite guests only. But
I'm just watching the sunset.
you're in an interior cabin. This observation deck is reserved for Grand Suite passengers.
Elena Rodriguez, 58, stood at the railing of the Royal Caribbean cruise ship watching the sunset over the Caribbean, wearing a simple sundress and flip-flops. Her hair was pulled back in a casual ponytail, reading glasses hung on a chain around her neck. She held a paperback novel, spine cracked from use. "I'm just watching the sunset," she said softly, not moving from the railing. James Burton, a junior cruise director, stepped closer and glanced at her keycard lanyard. "Ma'am, you're in an interior cabin. This observation deck is reserved for our Grand Suite passengers." He gestured toward the luxurious seating area. "There's a perfectly good view from Deck 5. That's more appropriate for your cabin class." Elena felt the ocean breeze on her face, remembering why she'd fallen in love with cruising 30 years ago. "I'll just be a few more minutes," she said quietly. James crossed his arms and raised his voice, attracting attention from nearby passengers in designer resort wear. "Ma'am, I need you to leave now. We have protocols." He turned to a colleague. "Can you believe this? Every cruise we get people trying to access areas they didn't pay for." The other crew member nodded sympathetically. Several suite guests watched with a mixture of discomfort and superiority. Elena had sailed the ship's maiden voyage 5 years ago. She'd walked every deck, inspected every detail, approved every design choice. This observation deck had been her idea. She'd wanted all passengers to experience beautiful sunsets. "Please call your hotel director," Elena said calmly. "Michelle Santos. Tell her Elena Rodriguez would like to speak with her." James rolled his eyes but pulled out his radio. Moments later, Michelle Santos emerged from the interior corridor. She saw Elena and her face went from confusion to shock to horror. "Mrs. Rodriguez. Oh my God, I'm so sorry." James looked between them, his confident expression crumbling. His face drained of all color. Michelle turned to him, voice shaking with controlled fury. "Do you know who you just asked to leave? This is Elena Rodriguez. She doesn't have a suite because she's traveling incognito." She paused. "She's the senior vice president of Royal Caribbean. She owns the ship. She designed this deck you're standing on." The observation deck went absolutely silent. James's hands trembled. Elena looked at him kindly, though her voice was firm. "I book interior cabins twice a year to see how my crew treats passengers who didn't pay for suites." She picked up her worn paperback. "Every guest deserves respect, James. Regardless of their cabin class. That's what hospitality means." Michelle's voice was quiet but final. "James, we need to have a very long conversation about your future with this company." James was reassigned to back office duties and eventually left the cruise line. Elena continued her incognito inspections, always booking modest cabins, always watching how staff treated those who seemed less than. True luxury isn't about excluding people, it's about making everyone feel welcomed. Never judge a passenger by their cabin. They might own the entire ship. Share if you've ever been underestimated.